Okay, Valen, these are your level 5 routines, except for high bar, and actually on rings you did level 4 also. I need to get a video of your level 5 still rings routine and your level 5 high bar routine still, and then we can give you a little more feedback. But this is what I've got for now. I'm going to run this, but I'll be stopping it occasionally and showing you some things in slow motion, adding my comments throughout. So here we go. Here's floor exercise.
Valen. Valen leathers.
Okay, let's pause it there and let's back this thing back up to the beginning. And let's look at this slow motion this time. Okay, kind of missed the back roll extension there. That was a serious fall. That would count as a fall, a 1.0 deduction, but you almost made that, and you did a really nice back roll extension with nice straight arms. Let's talk about each of these things. So, good run at the beginning, and take off for your dive roll. Okay, but your head is already being ducked here. Okay, see that head going down from here to here? And your heels are not coming up, Valen. I need you to really drive your heels up and keep your head up. Show me a good Superman here. That's what they're looking for, right there. Okay, I need your heels up and your head up, showing this thing off. All right, you're already starting to fall and you're still piking. Okay, we need to show that off a little bit more. And when you land, that's where your hands are touching right there. They've just made contact with the floor. You're not quite in the handstand. We need to be in the handstand or slightly past the handstand. Okay, the head is ducked. Okay, and we want to show that handstand position off. The rolling action here, you've got pretty good form on it. A little bit of whiplash going on with the head. That head should be forward. Don't let that head drop back. Okay, here you're doing a power hurdle, and you're not allowed to do a power hurdle here. It's just a step to the cartwheel. So this should be a step with your right foot, not a power hurdle. Okay, and then the cartwheel looks good. Looks like your left foot there is flat. We need to point that foot as you're doing that cartwheel. Head stuck out on the cartwheel also. And here you're dropping your foot down and your chest and your arms are still down. This is that stand-up that I talk about. When you do a cartwheel, stepping down from the handstand, you want to keep your body long. Don't allow it to get really short and bent all over like this. Okay? When that foot touches down, you should be standing up with the head up and the arms up here. Okay? And then from that standing position, you want to sit backward and leave your arms and your chest up. Instead, you're bending forward and reaching down with your arms, and that limits the amount of power you've got on your back roll extension. Okay? Here you did straight arms on the back roll extension. Feet are slightly apart. Okay, and then again, we missed the back roll extension. You had to roll out of it, but you don't normally do that. So here's your back roll extension. And then you drop to your front support. And now I'm going to let this run normal speed again so we can talk about the press. Good arch position there in the front support. Good straddle stand. Here we need to make sure that you take your time, and we want to press to that handstand and hold that handstand. Your head position is getting better. It was still poking out on this press handstand, but you did a really good one last night in practice, and I'm sure that this is going to come around. Okay, now we're getting ready to do the run to the front handspring rebound, step handstand full pirouette. So let's let this run. We'll take a look at it, normal speed here. Okay, so let's run that back, and let's talk about it. Okay, so From here, you're getting ready to run for your front handspring. Here's your skip step. Nice extension here. That looks good. All right, and you're stepping into your front handspring. But watch here. This you do on both your front handspring and your round off, which is hurting your power for both the front handspring and the round off. You're actually going to jump off of your right foot before your hands touch. So your hands are still in the air, and now you're in the air and nothing is touching the floor. Okay, this is what we call a leap onto the hands. Okay, and that's something you want to avoid. You kill your power when you do this. Okay, you need to make sure that you transfer your weight smoothly from your feet onto your hands, and as you're doing so, you push your hips away from your hands. Again, this is true for both the front handspring and the round off. You don't want to be leaping off of that foot. You want to be rotating onto the hands with power. Okay, so now your hands are touching, but you're still way up in the air, and there's no weight to transfer. You've just fallen under your hands. Okay, and that's why you're having this trouble on the landing here for your front handspring. Okay, when you stop doing that leap, you'll be able to do this much more cleanly. Okay, here you're taking about 5/10 deduction. Okay, on your front handspring. Okay, and then you kind of forgot what you were doing for a moment. It's not a sisson here. It's a step to a handstand full pirouette is what we're trying to do. Okay, or it's a step handstand roll, but we want to do the step to the handstand full pirouette. Okay, you kind of forgot what you were doing here for a moment. Then you do the sisson. Okay, and on your sisson, you want to keep your head up, and your arms should be to the outside where you can see them, and you want to show a nice big split. And you've got a good split, so you should be able to show this off really well. That's not really a sisson. Your head is down, your arms are up, your chest is not really up, and you're not really showing a split. So we've got to do better on this. It's a skill that you can really show off. You're keeping your head down here throughout, Valen. We need to get that head up. Okay, good step forward and turn. Okay, and now we're going to run for the round off back handspring. Let's let this go normal speed. Okay, we're going to stop that and pull that back and look at that. You did a round off back handspring, back handspring. That gets you the 5/10 bonus for the second back handspring. Let's look at this again, slow-mo, and talk about it. Your run looks good. Your skip step is long and low. You take a little bit bigger step going into your round off. Okay, that was a pretty good round off actually. You didn't leap off of your foot that time on your round off, which is better. Okay, you're snapping down, not quite hitting that power position though. We need to overturn that round off so that you hit the floor on your feet in the power position. Instead, you're hitting with your body, your chest still down, kind of like you did when you did your cartwheel stand-up. And that's, making you either have to wait to do the back handspring until you are falling backwards, or you've got to let your knees roll forward so that you can start your hands backward. And that's what you're doing. Your knees are coming forward, and that's killing your power for your back handspring. Okay? And your legs are also separated on your back handsprings. That's going to be a 1 to a 3/10 deduction for those feet being apart. And same thing on the second one. So you're taking a pretty big break on those. We're also a little crooked on that round up back handspring. If we had that yellow line, you'd be drifting over to the right, your right, of the yellow line. Okay, so we need to work on that. It's a little crooked. Good landing once you did get down. Okay, so that's floor exercise. Okay, let's go to your mushroom. Take a look at that. Okay? Yes.
All right, Valen, you're good to go.
No, you're not allowed to take the mushrooms. All right, 1 circle, 2 circle, 3 circle, 4 circle, 5 circle, half circle with a quarter turn. Okay, so that's the basic the mushroom routine. let's look at that again in slow motion now. Okay. Val, you're doing your 5 circles, which is great, but there's some other bonuses we'd like to add. The spindle and the flare, if possible, so you can add another full point to your starting score. But we've got to fix these circles first. Okay, the circles look pretty good. The form is pretty decent, but you're not counter-turning your hips. Okay, as soon as you put your right hand back down right here, notice that your hips, your left hip is going backward right here. You see your left hip turning backward? Okay. You want to see if you can turn the hips, they call it a counter turn, so that I can see both of your hips right here. Your left hip is actually going backward to the back side of the horse. I want you to turn your hips so they face forward here. And that it can only be done if you really concentrate on keeping your hips straight here. Don't pull your hips back. Instead, swing your heels back like you're trying to cast on high bar, okay, like a jump fold cast. You don't want to pull your hips back like a press. Right there, okay? That one's actually a little bit better. But we want to open these circles up. The way that we do that is by having you do circles on the mushroom with a bean bag on it, or something higher than a bean bag, or doing circles on a floor mushroom, which we've just started doing, and that will make your circles better. Okay, right here you need to get that right shoulder over farther to the right side so that you can open your hips up, and you'll find out that once you start doing circles like that, you'll be able to do flares and spindles. Okay, it'll make your circles better, and you'll be able to do a better job with those. Okay. So, by and large, the routine was not too bad, but it's just the basic skills, the circles, and if you really want to do well, you've got to be able to put in those other skills. Okay, so let's go to rings. And on rings, I don't have a level 5 routine for you. You did level 4 here, but there are some elements in here that are similar to some things that we've got. Okay. You've got a pretty good pull-up here, nice and strong, good position. And the mount in level 5 is a muscle-up. So if you had a false grip here and you were able to do the chin-up and then continue with the dip extension all the way to a support, that would be your muscle-up. And you've been showing some promise for doing a muscle-up. So we need to get that muscle-up down. Okay. Then you did your L hang, and your L hang is that's a great position. Your feet are above your hips, knees are straight, toes are pointed. That looks great, but you know we need to do that in a support, an L sit in a support. Let's see about how long you held this. You run it full speed here. 1001, 1002. Okay. All right. Now here on your back swings, you'll notice that if we can get this to stop, let me come back for a moment. Okay, I've stopped it here so that we can talk about a couple of positions. Okay, there's a few things that are going wrong here. Your feet are apart and your knees are slightly bent. They're probably going to hit you 3/10 on that. Okay, your hands are in a position like you're swinging on high bar. You've got an overgrip position with your hands instead of showing what they call turnout, where your palms turn to the outside. That's where you should be at the end of your backswing. Your head should also be down here, Valen. You should be looking down at the floor underneath the rings. Okay? If you really want to be able to swing nice and high, that's the correct position. Okay? So we got to work on your backswings a little bit. Let this go a little bit more. Let's see what your front swing looks like. There's your front swing. That's the highest part right about there. Okay, and this is close to what we want to do, but what we're shooting for is something called turnover on your front swing. Your turnover means that your feet are above your hips and your hips are above your shoulders, kind of like a free hip circle position. And you want to be pulling outward and backward, more outward than backward with the hands, so that your shoulders are up as high as the rings, okay? And you're not showing that here. We've got to work on that. I've drawn that in the ring position, so you can, or in the handout, the PDF on the illustration, so you can see where you are and what you want to do, okay? So take a look at that. Foot form looks pretty good. There's another back swing. The legs are together here and the knees are straighter. Looks pretty good, but your hands are still not turned, palms out, and your head is still up here. Okay, we want that head down and the palms turned out. Okay, so let's go on. Another front swing. Your arms are a little crooked there. We're not pulling evenly, and we're not showing turnover again. Okay, back swing again. Your knees are bent here and your legs are apart. That's going to be a deduction. Your head is still up and your hands are still turned to the inside. Okay, so then we're doing an inverted hang, and when you show an inverted hang, you want to be completely straight body. Your head is still looking up towards the feet, and your chest is rounded. We want to be able to swing to a nice straight inverted hang there. So now we're going to see the back lever. The back lever is also in the level 5 routine, so we'll talk about this. This is terrific. This is a really nice tight pike inverted hang, and you're doing a really good job with this position. I'm going to let this run for a minute because I want you to see the back lever that you do here. Okay.
Back
this
lever.
Is normal speed. Here's the back lever. 1,000. Okay, there's no hold on that back lever. Okay, and if we look at the position, you'll see that the back lever position is not
Back lever.
correct either. Okay, so I'm gonna, here you are extending to it, and that's about as close right there as you get to your back lever. Okay, I can't see any chest. Your head, your hips, and your feet should all be even in a straight line. You're not there. Okay, you've got your hands in your under grip position. That's the correct position, but you're not really doing a back lever here. You've got to open that position up, so we've got to get much stronger in that back lever position if you want to get the bonus 5/10 for doing that back lever. Okay. The German hang position, however, is beautiful. You do this really, really nicely, and they're definitely going to give you virtuosity for your German hang. After that, at the level 5, you have to pull back out, back to your pike inverted hang again. So, and I don't see a flyaway in the level 4 routine, so I don't know how your flyaway looks at this point. So that's your rings. Let's let this run on, and we'll get into the vaulting skills. This is the level 4 vault. Okay, and
stand flat
that
back.
level 4 vault and level 5 too, you're being judged not only on the skill that you do, but on the run up as well. And so let's look at this again. You're a little too casual in this run. We need to be accelerating and showing some power.
Stand flat
You're just
back.
kind of laid back. This one's a little bit better. Okay. That front summy was not too bad. This is the level 5 skill. Okay, but we want this thing to really pop. We want it to go up in the air and show an up and down action. And you want to be upside down at the apex. Okay. This is the apex here. Okay, that's about the highest point that you reach. Let's check that again. Okay, so you're going up, and now you're going down. Okay, and we want to be, your head is a little bit back. You should be looking up towards your knees here. And the foot form and all looks pretty good, but we want to be over the top at the apex. Okay, so that you can open here. Okay, you're barely opening there in time. Of course, you're not going to have a mat quite so high either when you do your front summy. You'll probably this is a 36-inch mat, and it's sitting on top of an 8-inch mat. So, sorry, that's a 24-inch mat sitting on top of an 8-inch mat. So you're at 30 inches there, and you're not going to be nearly that high. You'll be probably at 18 inches or something like that. So it should be a little bit easier to land. Okay, so not bad on vaulting. Let's look at your P-bar routine. Okay, here's your P-bar routine. I'm going to let it run the first time. So long swing, uprise, swing, and front uprise, or baby front uprise. And then you do your V and swing 3 times. 1, 2, 3 towards the handstand and dismount. Okay? And I'm going to back that up. We'll look at it slow motion and talk about each part. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go slow-mo here. So you want to start with a run-up and a jump from a Ruther board, okay, instead of from here. I kind of like the idea of doing this on the end of the bars, but you don't have to do it on the end of the bars, Valen. You can do it in the middle of the bars. I think that'd be easier for you. The dismount that you have to do in this routine has to be a vault. They call that a front vault dismount over the side of the bars. The way that you did it between the bars is fine for level 4, but you can't do that on level 5. You have to actually swing nice and high and go over to one side of the bars. Okay, so we need to probably think about doing your routine in the middle of the rails instead of here on the end of the rails. Okay, so you jump to a long hang and swing forward, and whoever shot this video shot it vertically, so I can't see where your body's swinging to there, but your legs should be extending at the end of your swing, and your armpit should swing as high as the bars, and you're not there. On your backswing, okay, back here, you should be extending your knees and your hips and be completely straight at the end of the swing here. And we want your armpits and your body to be as high as the bars, okay? And that's as high as you get, about right there. That's going to be a 3/10 to a 5/10 deduction for those bent knees and bent hips on each of these swings. So we've got to straighten that out. They can be bent here at the bottom, but they need to be straight at the end of your swing here, and you're not doing that. Okay, and we're also not swinging high enough. We want your entire body to be as close as possible to the level of the parallel bar rails. Okay, here's your second back swing. Again, we want to straighten those legs out. This tuck position is not good. Okay, and you're balled up here with your knees. We want to be straight. We want to be above the bars at the end of this back swing. Okay, so here we are. Your arms are going to the upper arm support. Okay, and this is what I call chicken wings. Okay, the chicken wings position is something we don't want to do. Okay, when you get in the upper arm support, you want your elbows in front of your shoulders. Okay, and that gives you a really strong position. Here we go. We're swinging forward. Your feet are flat. Of course, they have to be flat because of the big mat we've got there. But you need to have your toes pointed, your legs straight here. And you can see here that your elbows are behind your shoulders. That's the chicken wings position. And that's a very, very weak position for swinging in an upper arm support. Okay? This looks pretty good position. You're bending your knees, though, on your backswing, and your feet are flat. We don't want that. That's going to be a 3 to a 5/10 deduction. Probably 5. And here's your front swing. Again, because of the chicken wing position, you can't do the front uprise. It's impossible to push backward with those chicken wings like that. So you can't do a front uprise, which would be a bonus, 5/10 bonus if you do the real front uprise. Okay, your feet are flat here, and you got a big pike. We don't want that. Okay, and we want to do the front uprise instead of the baby uprise. This is the baby uprise, which you're doing here. You got to get stronger in your dips to be able to do that front uprise. Okay, and once you get the front uprise, you can swing forward and backwards and then go to your V-sit instead of just doing this lift to the V-sit. Okay, and here we go. The V-sit is beautiful. Okay, that is an excellent position. Your feet are almost straight up. Okay, the problem with your V-sit is that it needs to be held a minimum of 2 seconds. And I'm going to let this run so you can see how long it's held here. Here's your front uprise. Here's your V-sit. 1001. Well, said didn't even get 1001 in, and then you were down. So you're getting no credit for that beautiful V-sit position. You got to be able to hold that thing. Okay, so let's run this back. I'm going to go slow-mo again. The position was great, but there's no hold on it, so you're not going to get credit for the V-sit, okay? And that's going to be a huge deduction. You've got to hold that baby, okay? The swing out of this looks pretty good, good form. You're bending your knees slightly on your backswing, but that's a nice high backswing, okay? It's above, your feet are higher than your shoulders, so that's going to get virtuosity, but you also bent your knees a little bit to get there. We want straight knees. Good front swing. Straighter would be better. Okay, it's a little piped. Here's your backswing. Bending those knees again. 3/10 deduction on those bent knees. Better front swing. This needs to go to the handstand. You're bending the knees again on the third swing, but they're expecting you to go to a handstand here. If you want to get the bonus, you have to go to the handstand and show a momentary hold. I think it's momentary. Let me check that. No, it's a 2-second hold. Okay, so we want to swing to the handstand, a nice straight handstand, and hold it. And we don't want to break form on the way there. Your feet are flat, your knees were bent, the head is stuck out. Okay, and then you have to go over the side of the bars to one side or the other. You can't just drop down between the bars. That's only allowed in level 4. Okay. So, don't have a high bar routine for you. So that's the end of the video at this point. We need to get your level 5 rings on video and your level 5 high bar on video so that we can take a look at those and give you a little more feedback. But you have some good stuff here, Val. We need to, make some changes in what you're doing, but we're on the right track. I'm pretty pleased. We've got, another. Let's see, it's October, mid-October. We've got another, 6 weeks or so, something like that, before our first meet. And in 6 weeks, I think you're going to be in really good shape. So, good job. Let's keep it up. And Ganda.